Hello, hello, all. I hope that you're doing well this Sunday. Happy weekend. It has been a bit of a busy week, but a good week. Eric's home. He's feeling much better. We've gotten quite a bit of stuff done around the house, which is awesome. And yeah, it's been, 2 weeks since I filmed. So uh, I did my live stream of all of my whips uh, now almost 2 weeks ago. And the irony is that I think I still had like 15 left to go when my voice was finally saying, "You're done, no more." But I got almost all of my projects out of the bins, which is awesome. They're all packed up, they're ready to go, they're ready to move, which is great. Um, and I've realized that I need to not start anything ever again because oh my god, I have too many whips. Um, so I have a feeling that once we move, since we're going to be a little bit house poor anyway for a while, yeah, I'm going to be sticking with what I got and just working with what I have. Besides, I've got so many projects that are kind of like barely going that I have plenty to work on. I don't need to start anything. Will I? Of course I will. But yeah. Anyway, so that was done. I let's see. I showed it last time, but I'll show it again just really quickly. So we had before I did my whip parade, I had a class through the Tudor Rose Sampler Guild with. Let me grab it. Hang on. You're up here. There's like nothing in my bins now. It's kind of creepy. Where are you? That's there you are. Okay. So I had a class with Tudor Rose on the Wishing Thorns reproduction of Fanny John's, which was this piece. And I mentioned that how I had been thinking about doing it on black and then had second thoughts and said, no, no, no. I don't need to punish myself with stitching this whole thing on black fabric. We'll do it on one of the many things that I already have in my stash and not go out and buy a new piece of fabric because that's just silly with me. So just got it started, but I needed a half yard of fabric to be able to fit this thing. And I'm doing it on 36 count, so it's still, it's these stitches are not large. But here is where I am so far on my little start while I was watching our presenter. And this is being done in silks. And it is a big piece of fabric. And she will use up a good chunk of this. Not all of it, but a good chunk of it. Oh, and I see that Chad is here. Hello, hello. Good to see you, my dear. Get my chat thing. Hi, hi. So I had that class, and then last week I didn't live stream because I was at a virtual retreat with the Black Needle Society, and this was their second annual retreat for Downton Abbey. Let me put this away. And Chad's like, I hope you're having a lovely Sunday. It's been pretty good. Yeah, I hope that you're doing okay today, buddy, because I know things have been up in the air. We are busy packing stuff up and cleaning stuff out since the move is definitely going to be moving this summer, and we have a lot to get through. So hopefully you're doing well. Hope Janine's doing pretty okay today. I know, saying good is relative, but yeah, I hope that she's feeling on the up today. And yeah, things are good here. We went out, we took Max out for coffee because that's now our family thing. We go out and we're trying coffee shops. And then came back and packed up some boxes and got some stuff done. And now just chilling. She's bouncing back finally. Awesome. Is she, I imagine she's still at the hospital. She's not coming home yet, correct? Because I know that she had a lot that she had to get done. Hopefully she doesn't have another rebound back, but I don't know how you're doing it, dude. I really don't know how you're doing it. 2 weeks of dealing with Eric just post-surgery, and I was out of my mind. So how you're still upright, I have no idea. Yeah. Important safety tip. But I mean, not talking, Chad, with what happened with Janine, because that's a totally different thing. Please go and get yourself checked out when things come up. So, yeah, correct. Might be discharged this week. Finding a rehab that'll take her is not fun. I can only imagine. What a freaking headache. Because, yeah, she's still in, she basically has to relearn how to do everything. So, and the scary thing is that we live in a state that has, good health care. And I don't know. What a headache. Oh. Well, one of these days I got to get over to see you because, I haven't seen you in too long. I know you guys, the buddies have been getting together, but I feel like I've been disconnected from the group just because of all the craziness going around with Max and whatnot. And I really want to get back into gaming and hanging out with everybody. Hopefully once we get past this chaos and we're back up in Massachusetts, that'll start kicking up. But yeah. Ugh. So, yeah, on that note, but yeah, Eric is on the mend finally. No. Oh, you're not monopolizing my time, dear. I miss you, and I feel bad that I haven't been able to get over there, but I'm glad that the guys are getting together, and I hope that you guys are still planning your weekend in June. Eric let me know that there was some sort of a plan for you guys all to get together with Perk. So fingers crossed that can still go forward and you guys can have a little bit of time where you can decompress because you need it. But no, don't worry about monopolizing my time, dear. Seriously, anytime. Monopolize away. I'm not going anywhere. Oh. All right. Anyway, let's see where I'm at. Okay, so I had that retreat for Downton Abbey, and I got 5 days of chaos done. And the nice thing about this retreat is that it's competitive, but not with each other. It's competitive to see if we can come together for good causes. And Black Needle donates $20 for, I think it was every 3,500 stitches that the group did as a whole within hours. So over the course of the weekend, we did over 100,000 stitches as a group, which was awesome. And Black Needle was doing a donation to PBS, Public Broadcasting, for $600. So, which was awesome. It just feels good. You have a lot of fun, but it also is doing something good. So, part 2. So last year, this is a sampler that's being developed over time. And parts of it are getting released every year. So year one was just the center with the house and that first border. And I love the bell. I absolutely like the servant bell. So that was part one. And then part two this year built angles, built upon it. And you see how now there's an outer border and we're starting to get other scenes in. And all of the characters are going to show up somewhere in the piece. So next year, a little bit more of this will get filled in. And I'm not sure if we're just going through the seasons of the show or if the movies are going to get added into. But the entire sampler will be this size when it's done. Last year, I obviously worked on the house, didn't finish it. This year, for the stitching challenges, I got everything that is not the house is what I got done last weekend. So it wound up being about 1,800 stitches. I was super, super, super happy. And I am not a fast stitcher. I'm okay. I'm like a moderate pace stitcher. I'm not super slow, but some of the women are like speed demons, and they were doing like 200 to 300 stitches an hour. I don't know how. I was like, if I got 100, I was super happy. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. The words here were because I kept feeling like I was having a miscount getting this line up here so that I could work on the parts that qualified for the stitching challenges. And so I just threw letters in there so that I could make sure that my count to get this row up here was correct. But I'll go back and I'll fill that in later. But yeah. So I was very happy with that. Got a nice amount of work done. I'll probably be pulling that out again over the summer. I'm keeping it in my actives for the year because Black Needle's next retreat is coming up in July, their next virtual one, which is called Frogwarts, which is themed to Harry Potter. It's the year 7, and that one is pure chaos. And I may need this for stitching challenges on that one, which reminds me, I need to make sure that I filled out all my stuff to be part of Frogwarts. I need to do that during one of these sprints. So that's what I did last weekend. Now Fanny Jones, you can go back up there. Okay. Now that I'm in May, normally I do a stitch along called Stitch Mania. And in years past, I would just pick up everything and do a different project every day. Can't do that this year. So I'm doing one project a week. And this week, I am working on And They Sinned, which is my crazy, crazy piece. This is on, come on, focus. This is on 56 count fabric. So it's 28 stitches to an inch. And just for size, here's a US quarter. So you can see just how tiny these stitches actually are. But yeah, I'll be working on that today during our sprints and getting my Whip Go stitches going on this one. I have 1,000 to do to consider it complete for Whip Go, and hopefully I can make some good progress on it today. I am currently on it's not worth showing you the finished picture because it's so small, but I am on what's called the Cloud of Doom, which usually stalls people out, and oh, as it hit me. So not sure how I'm approaching it yet, but I'm going to try to get past it so that I can keep working down and then go back in and fill part of that cloud in as I go do like one stretch of one color and then go back and do a stretch of the cloud color and just kind of keep balancing so I feel like I'm making progress because I'm just stuck. So that's my plan for today. I don't know who else is around. It seems like it's kind of quiet today. Maybe people are off at things. I've noticed that there were like a lot of college graduations this weekend. They're starting up, so maybe people are out. But I'm going to get us started in our first sprint. If you are joining us for the first time, the way this works is I am going to run 3 45-minute sprints. And which reminds me, I forgot to put up my timer. Let me get the timer running. I'll be doing 3 45-minute sprints, and there'll be silent sprints. So if you're listening to audiobooks or you watch TV or listen to podcasts, whatever you do, you could do that and you won't miss anything on my end. And then we'll come back after the 45 minutes are up. We'll take a quick stretch break for like 5 minutes or so, chat, catch up, and then we will repeat the 45-minute sprints 2 more times. After that's done, I do have an optional 10-minute cool down sprint if you want to join me for that. And that'll be it for the week. So if today I can't go longer, but I am planning on probably doing some longer stretches as things kind of get towards the summertime, just to ease off, the weekends and whatnot. So, all right, let me move this over here because I forgot to bring up the sprints. And I think today we're going to chill out on the train and just watch things go by. All right, so let's get to our first set of sprints here. Do, 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 do. Maybe. Actually, cancel. It's not coming up yet. Come on. Maybe. There we go. Okay, now I can share it. Window. Share. All right. So I think we'll set it for evening because it's kind of pretty there. And yeah, interior. I'm going to have her start by knitting. Okay. We'll get 45. And we'll do 10 and 3. Okay, so I'm going to get us started. Have a great sprint. Say hi if you're coming in, and I'll see you in 45 minutes. Happy sprinting, everybody. All righty. Hello, hello. How did that sprint go for you? I started to stitch and then realized why I had put and they thinned away, and I have a stitch I need to correct, and it's a little further back. So I am frogging stitches at the moment, but um, I got about I had gotten about 40 stitches in and then realized where the mistake was because things weren't lining up perfectly in columns. And that's simply due to how small this fabric is. So that's why I'm now doing my handy dandy magnifier so I really can take a good look at it. And I'll get this thing fixed pretty quickly. I've got about 20 more stitches to pick out, and then I'll be back to where I basically, instead of going over 2 holes, I accidentally went over 3. So um, if it were something that were a smaller motif, I wouldn't care, but because it's the big lake, I have to pick it out and make it right, because otherwise I'm going to be making way too many corrections and way too much of the pieces left to sort through. So all right, let me go into chatty chatties. So while we were sprinting, Pearl came in. Hello, hello. And she's like, I made it. Yes, which is awesome. She's doing a little knitting, then she'll get her jammies on and read more of It's Not Her. Very nice. I am listening to 12 Months from Jim Butcher while I'm stitching tonight. I have finished my Cozy Mystery audiobooks through book 6, but I'm not finding books 7 and 8 available on audiobook, only on digital, visually reading books. So I'll go back and do those eventually, but while stitching, obviously, I need something audio because I can't read and stitch at the same time, especially not on this. So nice. All right. And I said hello to Pearl, and that's it. It's like super quiet in here today. So I guess a lot of people have plans. Um, well, before we go back to the next set of sprints, just to let you know, schedules coming up. And I'll repeat this, during the next sprints. But since next Sunday is Mother's Day, and we're getting together with my husband's family for the afternoon, and I don't know how late that's going to go. I'm not going to stream next Sunday, but I am going to stream next Saturday, my normal time from 5 to 8 p.m. So I've already put up the announcement and the time on my channel. So next Saturday I will be streaming, and then the following Sunday, and then Memorial Day weekend I haven't figured out yet, and the reason for that is because my son has a performance that afternoon on Sunday afternoon. So I have a feeling I'm probably not going to stream unless I do something late. But we'll see. But for right now, that's it. That is a to be announced. So those are the plans coming up. And I think since it's quiet, I'm going to go ahead and go into the next sprint. So I will see you guys on the other side. Happy sprinting, all. Let me flip us back to this. And let's see if I get us. Okay. Put me back here on the bottom. All right. So I am going to skip us to the next sprint, and I will see everybody in 45. Happy sprinting. All righty, y'all. Oof. So, how did that one go for everybody? I'm stitching slower than I thought I would be today. I'm just having a hard time focusing on this count. I may switch pieces for the sprint just because I'm just having a hard time seeing it today. I haven't stitched on this in a little while, so it kind of is what it is. But it's yeah, it hasn't moved any further than it was when I started tonight. So we'll see. Maybe I'll pull out the piece from Downton Abbey and throw some more in there. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I've got some time. But how is everybody else doing? So let's see. Let me skim back. Pearl was like, "Oh my God, I missed the chatty bit." No, it's okay. It's been kind of quiet, Pearl. So, it was like, since there really wasn't anything going on, and I was kind of in the middle of doing my my picking out and my frogging to get myself to where I could start stitching, I kind of was like, all right, I want to keep going while I have the initiative. So that's why I kind of jumped back into a sprint, but we can take plenty of time right now. Actually, I'm just going to pause the timer for the break. So we can go for a while here. Sorry. I was like, no, it just seems really quiet today. Just us, I think. Then I promised that I would wait longer next time before getting back to a sprint. Pearl was like, I think there's a lot of people who are live right now. There might be. I mean, I know there's like a lot of big readathons going on. So let me see what's going on right now on YouTube Live. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a ton of people reading. That's what's going on tonight. So, but I'm not surprised. I mean, it's a perfect time for it. So, it is what it is. We'll put some links in later. So Pearl said, I'll always hang out here if I'm home when you're live. Oh, thank you. Yep. No, I don't mind. It may be a quiet night, but that's okay. It's time for me to do some stitching. So, and hey, I'm glad if other people will join me. That's cool. So Pearl said, I was at the Ontario Police Memorial today. My son was in the parade. Very cool. Did he march by himself, or was he with the police, or did he have a drum and fife band that he was part of? But that's cool. And then Ashley came in. Hello, how are you? I'm doing pretty well. How about you? It's a nice, kind of quiet Sunday afternoon, and just winding down the weekend after trying to get a little bit of stuff done around here and get some more stuff pushed away to prep for moving. Eric and Max, my husband and my son, got a bunch of books packed up upstairs. So things are definitely progressing on the easy stuff to pack up front, which is nice. Now the problem is that we have so many boxes in the house. We need to get them moved into the garage. And my husband isn't cleared to lift more than 20 pounds until the 13th, since he had his gallbladder surgery. So things are kind of stalled a little bit until we can get stuff out of here, because we're having to maneuver around stacks of boxes, which is not ideal in the house, but we'll get there. We'll get there. The important thing is we're making progress, and we've decided that we're holding off on the official going to physically look at houses and potential houses until my son is done with the school year at this point. So we'll start looking like the last week of June. And that gives us the time to get this place ready to go. So fingers crossed. So Pearl said hello to Ashley and asked if Ashley was feeling better. Oh no, I didn't know that you weren't feeling well, Ashley. I must have missed a conversation on another folks live this week. It's like I've been feeling better off and on. Today has been a tired day. And Pearl said that she's been getting photos and vids from the memorial today in CapCut so I can get a video posted on one of my other channels. Very cool. I will be, one of the things I've been working on is, so my son has to turn in all of his extra credit stuff for his black belt exam that's happening over Memorial Day weekend at the end of May. He had to do community service, and he had to go to 5 other locations that his specific martial arts school has. They're around Rhode Island, and then there's like one in Massachusetts. And so he has to attend classes just to get, a taste of the different head teachers' styles. And it is amazing how even when they're teaching the same techniques and the same stuff, how everybody approaches it just a little bit differently. So it is actually kind of good for him to go and, learn the other instructors' techniques and whatnot. And these are the instructors that are going to be grading him when he takes his black belt exam anyway, because they all get together, and all of the studios get together to do the black belt exam together, including one, actually, they have one location out in Michigan. I'm not sure how that wound up happening, but there's a couple of kids, I think, that are testing, and they're going to fly from Michigan here to do the exam over Memorial Day weekend. So, but he had to turn in all this extra credit stuff. And one of them is a video that he needs to do of his black belt journey. And I asked my husband and my son to do it last weekend, and they were both like, tech apparently is confusing both of them. So Max worked with me to select photos, and I'm going to be, I've started putting it together for him, but I need to get the rest of it together. So once I'm off of live streams tonight, that's going to be my project. So I'll be, at some point in the next couple of days, that'll be going up here on my channel when we get his journey together. So, because I only have this one channel, I'm not running any others right now. I don't have enough content yet to split between them, but yeah. But that's cool. Oh. So what else is going on with folks while we're here in the chilling? What are people working on today or reading? Or, well, Pearl, you let me know what you were reading. Ashley, how about you? Are you reading anything or working on anything specific? Let me see what I'm going to, because, yeah, I'm having a hard time with And They Sinned this evening. I think it's just a little bit too small, or I don't have my light set up quite right. So I'm going to put this away for right now. It happens. And They Sinned it's a tricky one because the count on it is so darn small that if things aren't exactly right, and it could just be my eyes are a little tired, if they're not exactly right, it is just not gonna happen. So, all right, let me get all of my floss for that one put away. Oh, let's see. What do we want to work on this evening? That's frogworts. I don't want that right now. Yeah. I'll pull out Fanny Johns. I'll do a little bit more on Fanny Johns. Oof. When I have a moment, send you a DM. Okay. On Discord, I assume. Oops. Let's see. I just run over. Oh, okay. Let's see. I will send you a DM. Okay. Pearl, I just sent you a text. Yeah, so I'm going to pull out Fanny Johns, I think. And if we want to do a couple more sprints, that's cool with me. Although, obviously, there's quite a bit going on. I'm just feeling off tonight. I don't know what it is. Just having kind of a weird day. I feel fine. I'm kind of like discombobulated. Yeah, we'll pull out Fanny Johns and I'll continue working that border because I can actually see that tonight. And I don't think this is the right magnifier for me to be using. So, but, yeah, it's kind of, a little weirdest. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to do, so I'm going to go back to Fanny Johns. I'm going to work on that border a bit because clearly And They Sinned is not working for me right now. I really hope that I haven't hit, you know what it might be is I might need to get a different pair of readers and get a higher magnification because I think I normally, when I stitch, these ones are what? Okay, they just can't be ones. Oh, well, that would do it. I don't have high enough magnification for it. Those are just ones. Yeah, I need a pair of like at least 1.5s, if not, like 2s. To be able to see those holes. And I think I'm just a little tired today. All right, let me see this. Let me get this going. Pearl, reading your message, it's definitely on my mind. It's just a matter of, I think I need to get through this move first. And then, because I'm just worried about committing onto it right now while things are kind of weird and up in the air. It's definitely on my mind. I definitely have it to reach out to Tula and to Paula later to see about getting in on it. But I just don't want to overcommit at the moment. So, and it might be a matter of me, thinking about like different days, different nights of the week and seeing what the schedules are that people have going on. So I do think though that the kooky is just so huge. People are over there and that's fine. Whatever. This is me just having an excuse to be able to stitch. So I'm all good. And I'm a small fry in the big internet pond. Yeah. But no, Maker's Quest is definitely on my list for later. So I need to. One of my bad habits lately has been trying to get involved with. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'll drop her a line and just see if that's cool. Then we'll see. Because yeah, my biggest problem that I have, and as you've seen with all the starts, is I have a really bad habit of doing ooh shiny and trying to go in too many different directions at the same time. So, or trying to take on too many things at the same time. And I just was like hesitant, going, maybe I shouldn't do that, and maybe it's too much to commit to. But this kind of is a good schedule for me. I may, you know what though, because the next like 3 weeks I'm on kind of a broken schedule just because of Mother's Day and Max's karate thing. I might make I'll drop her a line, but say, maybe when June comes around would be, if she's interested in adding me, that's when I would kick off being part of it. Because the next like 3 weeks I'm not on my steady schedule, but we'll get there. Yeah, because I'm on Coda's book list. Although I think the time that I'm listed as is the time I was originally doing it, from 3 to 6. But yeah, but I'll double check. I'll drop her a line. But and yeah, because it would be nice to have a few more people. But I also know that Sundays can be kind of tricky. So, and I do once I get through the move, I think I would like to. I'd like to do it a couple of times a week, maybe. We'll see what schedules I can get together. So, and also because I want to do some more stitching, and I want some time for myself to do more stitching, honestly. But I also know, I'm only going for like 3 hours, and my schedule's been a little erratic. So, and I didn't get this week's setups done too far in advance, and that was my fault. So, yeah, when June is open, you can choose your slots. Just okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I'll drop Cherry a line and just get that going then, and see what she says, and then maybe I can be the Sunday evening person. So yeah, it works. And if I need to adjust a little bit, I can adjust, because this is just a play. So so let's see here. So that's very cool. I was eating for a bit. It's not her for Kooky. It's a thriller, and so good so far. That's cool. I'm so I figured that what I would do for Kooky this year is um so I don't have to worry about my hard copy books, because I know it originally started as a digital, you know, readathon. That way I can pack up the hard copy books for right now. And I got a bunch of the easier to accept NetGalley arcs. So I'm working off of my NetGalley list right now. So I put 12 books on there to start. And then if I get through those 12, I'll just do another batch, between that and my Kindle Unlimited and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm starting with. And I'm planning on doing some reading over on Nicole or Coda, whoever is hosting this evening. One or the other. I'll be reading with them tonight. So, and we've chatted on the GMs and Discord. Okay. Let's see. Sprints on Tuesday, police funeral on Wednesday, a night out at some point, haircut. I need to do coloring because, I'm getting gray again. I need to recover my natural blonde. I didn't do it last week because while I was on break, um, I decided to try one of those salt float tank things where they call them like sense deprivation tanks, but they're really just kind of like a relaxation thing, and it's just like a ton of Epsom salt in a really warm tub, and you just get to relax and listening. It's like calm music, and you can have the lights on. You don't have to be in pitch darkness. Um, I just wanted to try it, and just for some meditation, and it was kind of odd, but it was actually really relaxing. My brain does not shut up, I learned, uh, which is not surprising. But, it helped my body relax. And it was just like, because, there is no way you cannot float on these things because of the amount of salt in it. You sit down and your feet, it's only like a foot deep. So, 30 centimeters deep. There's not much depth to this thing. But you sit down, and if you just lift your legs up, they just go punk, and they're up. You can't turn over easily because of all the salt. It's like you are comfy, and you're just like laying like you would on a pool float. It's, yeah. So just to be able to completely like relax your muscles and just let yourself just drift was amazing. And I got out of the tank and I'm just like, oh, this is comfy. Yeah. So definitely want to do that again. But one of the things they warn you is that if you color your hair, you have to wait for at least 2 weeks before you can go again, because with the salt, it might leach out and they don't want it to stain the tub. They're not as worried about your hair. They're worried about the tub, which I get. But yeah, so I want to color it now, and then I'll wait, and like, I think after maybe the week after Max's test, maybe then I'll go again and give it another try, because it was really nice. But it really does teach you at how noisy your head is. I will say that. It's like, yay, yes, I will contact her. Um, let's not talk about how many started knits are on my dining table right now. Oh, does it look like that whip list that I showed you the other week? I was honestly, by the end of me doing that whip parade, I was kind of getting embarrassed about how much stuff I had started. It was like, all right, this is getting a little stupid. So, yeah, I'll be doing, I think, 2027 is going to be a Whip Warriors kind of I'm not going to say no new starts because I know myself too well. And also I'll be taking classes, through like my guild that I'm a part of and that kind of stuff. But I'm really going to limit the starts. They're going to be very limited next year, until I get some of this stuff done. And then it's like, okay, once I get a few things finished, then I can have a start. I'm going to be a little more judicial about them. We'll put it that way. I want to try float tank. It was really nice. And the one thing I will say, so I do get a little, I found out the hard way with with an MRI that I do get claustrophobic. And, so I'd seen these ones, and I'd seen the pod that they have where you get in this pod, you pull like the lid down on you. And it almost looks like it's like the Mork and Mindy, like Mork egg kind of a thing from way back when. And that kind of freaked me out. And I was like, I don't know if I'd be able to handle that because of, claustrophobia and stuff. The one I went to, they were actually like a room. It was almost just like a gigantic bathtub, and it had, instead of pulling a lid down, it was like a door that you opened it out of. It kind of, I jokingly was like, it almost looks like you're going into like one of those restaurant deep freeze rooms kind of a thing, because of this huge door. But you could stand up in it, and that, I think, for me, made all the difference in the world. And the fact that you had the option of keeping the lights on, keeping music going, so you weren't in complete darkness and complete silence for an hour. That probably would have freaked me out. Although I did find that after a little while, I was relaxed enough. I kept the music going because I need white noise. But I did turn the lights off and I was fine. And it was very relaxing. I also said no new yarn in 2026. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I see, that's the thing. I know better than to do a no new, because that is doomed to fail if I say no. Saying I'm going to be more judicious about it and allow myself a little bit of treating might be a better, maybe. I would not like my WIP list to go into triple digits. We'll put it that way. I know some people can handle that just fine, but I think I'm at where I don't want any more than what I have right now. I think I need to focus on what I got going. As I pull up, I'm like, yeah, this has like 30 stitches in it, and this has 30 stitches in it. These things need to get more stitches in them. So we'll work on what I have going for a little while, and then we'll see where we're at. But yeah, talk to me in like October. It's a good thing we don't live anywhere near each other. I'm sure we'd be a bad influence on each. Oh my God. Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's a good thing that I don't see my semi-local friends for stitching more than I do, because yeah, we're all horrendous influences on each other. And my it's bad enough that I get together with my stitching guild. So we have our monthly meeting Tuesday evening. We do them over Zoom. And we always do show and tell. And it's like, I'll take that one, and I'll take that one, and and I'm like, no, you can't. No, you can't buy any more. You can't. Will I buy more? Of course I'll buy more. But yeah, we would be a horrendous influence. And you'd have me knitting in like no time. I'm already worried about, God forbid, if and when my mother moves up this way, she's going to be a bad influence on me craft-wise. She might get me sewing, which if you see me using a sewing machine, just prepare for the end times, because I've been terrified of a sewing machine my entire life. If she actually gets me using one, we're in trouble. Like the whole world's in trouble. But she might do it. She may be able to get me to work it, because she is very talented with one. And one of these days I probably need to learn how to use her machine, since she's got, one of those tank sewing machines that's been around longer than I've been alive, kind of a thing. And I need to at least know how to thread the thing, because it would be a shame for it to go to waste once she doesn't sew anymore. So, all right. I need to go get another cup of tea. And so I think I'm going to get us going in our final 45-minute sprint. And, and then we can do the wind down after that for as long as people want to go. I'm hearing my husband call for dinner, and I'm like, what? And then I go, oh yeah, it is almost 7:30. I guess it is kind of dinner time, although I'm not going to eat till after we're done here. So, all right. So I'm going to get on our next sprint. Let me switch to that page. Do this so I can get some tea. I was like, why is the train not moving? Then I forgot. Oh yeah, it only moves when they're. There we go. And now it's moving because we've gone to the next session. That's right. Okay. I'll put the third sprint. I don't know why that caption has disappeared. Things are all screwed up. I need to redo my stuff with my thing. Okay. Anyway, I will see everybody in 45 minutes. Happy sprinting. All righty. So that was our last 45 for the evening. And I know that the big sprints for Kooky are starting, so we're not going to go. I think I'm not going to do the wrap-up sprint tonight since I know people will be diving over there. And it's going to get really busy over on the Kooky stuff. But let me go through the chat. How did things go? Let's see. I got a little more done. On it, much easier working on this. So I'm just starting this off, and I'm going to carry the border for a little bit and just kind of get this. I can't show the pattern, obviously, for copyright reasons. Well, I could do it from way back. So from way back, so people can't see it, I'm going to do this part of the border and then start getting these motifs in. And I think I'm going to work this one page by page on the pattern. So just to make it a little bit, to make sure I'm not going off and being kind of crazy. So I don't have too many counting errors. And tomorrow I think I'll go and find better readers so I can do a little more work on And They Sin, because I actually do want to get that one moving forward. And it is on my whip go list this week. So, all right, let's go into chats. So Pearl said that I wish I could fit machine sewing into my life. I hand stitch on the go. I've always been afraid of the sewing machine, which is partially how I got into cross stitch in the first place. My mom has always been fantastic with her sewing machine, and she used to do like small, like baby sized quilts and Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls for our YWCA bazaar when I was a child. And she made me clothes, she made all sorts of things. But I was terrified of her machine. I was convinced it was going to eat my fingers. So I never learned to use it. And then when I was in 5th grade and we did one of our art projects in school was learning to cross stitch. And it's because my 5th grade teacher was a cross stitcher. But I took to it like, super, super fast. And then I realized that I could sit in my mom's sewing machine with my hoop and kind of tuck up in a corner with my hoop while she was working on her machine and spend time with my mom crafting. And I thought it was awesome. So, so that's kind of been that was my gateway into this, but I know I'm going to be inheriting her things at some point, and I really should learn how to use them because I don't want them to go to waste. I really don't. And, sewing is one of those things that I never get to learn it in home ec because we didn't have, by the time I was in home ec, it was a optional class and I wanted to take French. So that was my option. I didn't take home ec like a lot of the girls did. Let's see. So stop. What did I just do? No. All right. Let me get to this. Sorry, my mouse got stuck on my screen. So Pearl was going to be reading the sprint. And so was Ashley. Yay. And then I was telling the tale about how I could not get tea because my dishwasher was running. We, since we're in an old house, we do not have a built-in dishwasher, and we have what a lot of people nowadays have never encountered. My age and older probably have. We have a dishwasher that hooks up to our faucet in our sink. And ours isn't one of the ones that sits on the counter. Ours is actually one of the bigger roll-up ones. So it's a full-size dishwasher. but rolls up to the sink. And so when that's going, that like takes up the kitchen. And Pearl was like, oh no, what about the washroom suit? Which I didn't think of. I could have gone upstairs to the washroom and gotten water out of the sink there. I just didn't even think to do that. Next time, I'll remember that. My son's senior assassin just showed up at the house. He wasn't very good at not looking suspicious. Nice. They never are. They never are. It's always kind of like, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing. Yeah. So you have it. Did you have a good laugh? Hopefully you had a good laugh. Yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, I didn't think to do that. I'm trying not to do caffeine. I have a bad habit of doing late night caffeine, and I need to start going to bed earlier. Because I'm waking up on Monday mornings, especially, where I'm just like dead on my feet, and I'm not happy with that with work. So, because then I feel like I'm catching up. I'm like chasing my own to-do list the rest of the week. So, let's see. Cats have no people-pleasing instincts at all. No, they do not. They really don't. We are their wait staff. They remind us of it constantly. So Pearl got some pages read and working on my video of the memorial. Very nice. Yep, I'll be working. Once I eat dinner, I'll be working on Max's thing. Je ne parle pas beaucoup, unfortunately. I lost most of it, and I'm doing Duolingo again to remind myself, but I can read it fine, but speaking it is still a bit of a chore. We've all had a good laugh. It was a frenzy of teenage boy phone calls too. Oh, I bet. Boys, so Max and his friends will get on Snapchat, and the conversations that I'll hear, I'm just like, I forget. We did this when we were kids too, but I'm like, was I really this crazy? And I'm like, I don't know if I have or not. The vids of cats hearing Egyptian music. No, I'm going to have to write that down. I have not seen those. I'm sure that they felt like they were getting back to their roots. Right? Eric and I will sit here and we'll hear him screeching upstairs, and I'm like, how does he make that sound? They're so high. I never was that. I know I wasn't that high. I was not that high. But then again, I don't think I was ever as loud as he is up there. Between that and then like every other word, brah, no, brah, you got to see this brah. And it's like, what? Boys are weird. We did not sound like that because we did not have internet to have a whole gang on one Discord. True. Very true. I was one of the rare people who actually grew up with 2 phone lines in my house, because since my dad was a doctor and he would be on call because, babies don't come when we want them to come a lot of the times. So when he was on call, especially on the weekends, he'd be on call for 72 hours straight. And so we had to leave that phone line open, and because that's how the hospital was going to get a hold of him while he was home. He did have a pager for when we were out about in town, but while he was home, he would get off the pager so he could put it back and charge it. And so in order to be able to have a phone line that like family could call us on the weekends, or that we could make calls out, we had an unlisted line that when dad was on call, you could not be on the public line, the one that was actually listed in the phone book, because that was for medical calls. You'd have to be on the unlisted line. Well, on times where he was out of the house, and there were times that I actually would like grab two phones and I'd have them both up to my head and call two friends, and I would be the pass through because this is before you could like split phone lines. It was bad. That was early multi-person conferencing. Uh, I was a teenager. I figured that was the way it would work, right? How little did I know what technology would bring us as an adult. Ugh. My kids call me bruh. Yes. Yeah, the shirt that says, mommy, mom, bruh. Yeah. I know Max has one shirt that does say bruh on it. It looks like graffiti. I don't know if I got him the mommy, mom, bruh one. I should. Stare at him till I'm not his bruh. He's pretty good about not calling me bruh right now. Although his habit is just looking at me and rolling his eyes and sighing at me. I have determined, and I've told him that when he does that to me, I assume that he's doing it because he admires me so much. Usually that's when he walks away. But I'll get this from him. So I just say, "Oh, I'm so happy you love me so much and you like what I'm doing." Because I figure it's my role to embarrass him. That's my job as a mom. Used to hold the phones together. I did too. I would put them together and I'd be telling my friends to like yell at each other. If someone wanted to talk to me on the phone, I'd probably end that relationship. Yeah, I'm not a big text messages, fine. Uh, Phone calls, you know what? Even I never was hugely on a big phone person. Even as a teenager, I really wasn't. Although I would because that was all I could do. It's not like because email was just starting to come in. There was like the Prodigy accounts when I was in high school, but they weren't really widespread and not a lot of people could afford them. Um, but yeah, what else could we do? I'm a firm believer in moms making fun of their kids, so when the world makes fun of them, it just rolls off them. Yes, but with limits. I am mindful of paying attention to whether it's really bothering him or not. Because I will say my mom did not always pay attention to if and when it was genuinely bothering me and like going beyond just gentle teasing. So, and Max is a very, very, very sensitive kid. Since we were talking about, everybody's signs and everything the other week on your chats, Pearl, Max is he's a Pisces sun. I can't remember what his moon is. I think he might be an Aries moon. I'd have to look at what his rising is, but like his entire chart is like clustered. It's not just a stellium. It's like everything is clustered within like 40 degrees on his birth chart. Just like, okay, we have a very emotional child. Gotcha. I'll take like a photocopy of the cluster for you one day. It's pretty epic. He's like the complete opposite of me on his chart. Like, I do love a solid voice note conversation. Yes. Yes. Eric and I do a lot of, mine's mostly it goes into text instead of talking, but yeah, that'll be happening during commutes a lot of the time. Let's see. My son backed one of our cars into a ditch. No big deal. Yeah, CAA called it. Yep. no damage, but each time he takes a car, I'm like, don't put it in a ditch. And he stomps out saying, Mommy. Uh-huh. What is going on? I've got cats running around. I think they have beans.
Toby kicked Embers into Luke, kicked Embers somewhere else.
Oh, Toby kicked Embers into Luke, and yeah, okay. So we have chain reactions going on in the house. All right. Well, I am going to wrap us up here then for the night, guys. Partially because my dinner has now been waiting for me for, an hour. I need to go heat it up again. And I know that there are kooky shenanigans afoot over on who's hosting tonight. Let me pull that up real quick. I want to say it's Coda, but I might be wrong on that. Oh no, it's Nicola's tonight. Oh, Coda's not even on right now. All right, so if people want to join the kooky stuff tonight, let me scoot things around. How is it that I have two screens and I still seem to run out of space? Okay. So yeah, it's definitely on Nicole for right now. But maybe Coda's going to be coming up later cuz yeah, I thought Coda was supposed to be on Sundays. But anyway. All right, so Nicole's up and we'll be up for a while. And let me see who else is on for this evening. There's quite a bit going on. Oh, Fox is still going, but she's doing writing sprints. So here's writing sprints with Fox, and let's see. Yeah, that's all I've got on my list, but I'm sure there's other people going. So, okay. Let's see. Oh, Anna went to fill the gap. Okay. Now, hopefully he's feeling okay. Maybe, I mean, I know there's been some bugs going around, so I don't know. All right. Well, I will wrap up now. So just a heads up, I am not going to sprint next Sunday, but because of Mother's Day and because we'll be over at extended family to celebrate that and a family birthday. And I might be home, but I'm not quite sure yet. So I figured it's probably just safe to say I'm not sprinting next Sunday, but I will be sprinting next Saturday from 5 to 8. So if you're around, my normal time, but on Saturday instead of Sunday. And then the following week, I'll be back on my normal schedule. So, all right, all. Have a great night. And Pearl, I will see you on your sprints on Tuesday. And otherwise, have a great week. And I'll talk to everyone later. Have a good night.